Hi everyone, welcome back to my garden. In today's video, I'm going to give you a little tour of my vertical vegetable garden. Now I call this a vertical vegetable garden because this space is only 3 feet 4 inches wide. I kid you not, I could barely walk back here. And the only way I can grow anything back here is if I grow upward, vertically. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're gonna start with my lunchbox orange pepper. And I guess my chickens must have gotten out because I had a beautiful ripe pepper ready to harvest right there. And they must have eaten it. Can't blame them, these are very good. Ooh, but I have a couple more back there. This is the best pepper I have ever grown. There's lots of them on there. Have a couple okra plants. Yep, the chickens did get out. Look at that. They must have gotten out yesterday. Couple more okras. And I also have some Mexican sunflowers. I'm told that if you plant flowers by your vegetables, it attracts more bees. So those are doing really, really good. I grew all my Mexican sunflowers from the seeds I had from my last year's plants. I almost like Mexican sunflowers better than regular sunflowers. The colors are so bright and they produce so many flowers just from one stem. Yes, that's Elsinore saying good morning. Next I have some tomatoes. They're just regular cherry 1000s, I believe. And this is just the beginning of July, so we're just getting started right here in California. I know in a few weeks or a month these tomatoes will be above the cages. A couple more okra. I grew these from seed. A little tomato plant that's just getting started. And I anticipate it's going to get very, very big because as you can see, I attached tomato cages together. This is how I make a big trellis for my tomato plants. I just put one tomato cage on top of the other and then fasten it. I'm going shopping at Home Depot today and I'm going to put some new vegetables in these pots. I have some vacant pots. But over here, this is the first time I've ever grown this kind of cherry tomato. They look like little pears or little bells, if that's what you want to call them. They're just starting to get ripe. I haven't tasted them yet, so I can't really report on what those taste like. Well, good morning, Lucky. And for the first time in my life, I'm growing tomatillos. It's very hard to walk back here because the space is so narrow. But I'm super excited about this. This is my very first time growing them. Why am I growing tomatillos? Well, I just love the way they look. They almost look like little Chinese lanterns. Check it out. Is this adorable or what? So they look like paper lanterns. See, they're very, very... Oh my goodness. They're very, very soft, but inside there's going to be a tomato. This one's getting harder. I want to open it up and show you a little bit. See underneath that. Oh my goodness, Elsinore. Underneath this papery skin, there's a tomato in there. So I just love the way it looks. And here I did another one of these 2 tomato cages fastened together. I use zip ties. And look how helpful that is. My tomatillo can grow super tall now. See, so this just goes to show, and every time I show this area and do an update, I always say, if you don't have a lot of space, you can grow upward and the sky is the limit. Now, as I come to the end of this space, this is where I do some of my composting. I do compost in the ground, but because I have a very small yard, I do a lot of my composting in pots as well. So this pot is filled with all kinds of kitchen scraps and yard clippings, and then when it gets full I just top it with soil to kind of give it a cover. I keep it moist. So this one is baking and this one is making. So as you can see, this isn't full yet because this is where I put all of my new kitchen scraps and coffee grounds, and then when that gets full I'll top it with soil for a lid, and then this one will be ready. So I switch back and forth. One is baking and one is making. Now, I don't want to stab any worms, but at the same time I want to show you what this looks like underneath. It's pure gardener's gold. All the worm castings and food scraps. It has a little bit more to go, of course, but I just want to show you how I make free fertilizer from my garden. And it doesn't stink either, as long as you don't put meat in your compost and you just put things that came from the earth. It'll smell so organic and actually kind of good. So you see, even if you have a small garden, there's always room for one bucket, right? Well, then you can compost too. Anyone can compost, as long as you have room for a bucket. Good morning, girls and boy. How are you this morning? Oh yes, they say, let me out, let me out. We have Sally and Jasmine, named after the snow princesses, and that used to be Elsa, but then she turned out to be a he. So instead of Elsa, it's Elsinore and Anna. Oh, those are named after the snow princesses. I get confused. We have Penny. Penny's gonna lay blue eggs. And there's Smarty Pants, my white chicken. She's gonna lay blue eggs as well. Those are Americanas. She is so wise and curious. The wisest one. That's why I called her Smarty Pants. Oh yes, you're so noisy this morning. And then we have two older girls. They're still up in the roost. They are crabby and older and they like to sleep in. And can you hear all those dogs barking? Oh, you're not going to believe this when I tell you. I live behind a dog kennel. I know it's not the easiest thing to live with, but life isn't perfect and that's just the way it is. It drives my husband absolutely crazy. Maybe that's why the chickens are making so much noise this morning. So you can kind of see my vertical vegetable garden right on the side of the chicken coop. 3 feet 4 inches wide. Can you believe that? I barely have enough room to walk back there. But I think it looks neat and tidy, and it's definitely, that space is definitely getting utilized. Now I know I said this was a vertical vegetable garden tour, but I want to show you how beautiful my Double Delight rose is doing. I planted this just this spring and it's still a baby. But there's so many blooms, and oh my goodness, this rose smells so good. The whole reason why I planted it. I expect that next year it'll be bigger and the stems will be thicker and the blooms will be bigger as well. But I'm really happy with it. And of course, I'm filming on garbage day. Oh my goodness. Life isn't perfect, right? That's just the way it goes. So that's my Double Delight rose. And remember when I planted these coleus just about a week ago? Well, look, they're getting bigger too. I planted these coleus from seeds, and honestly, they were one of the easiest things I've ever grown from seed. Oh, I didn't realize there was 2 plants in this one. I know I said this was a vertical vegetable garden tour, but you know, I just can't help showing you things. Oh my goodness, I just realized my clematis is blooming again. Oh, that's so pretty. It looks like the bug got to that one. But now that this heat wave is over, it looks like the blooms are a little bit richer in color. Okay, I have one more little update to show you. Yes, my Mexican sunflowers are in full bloom. But what I want to show you is our wall is almost done. They just have to fill the blocks with cement and then put a cap on it. And then once that's done, I can put all my doors back up and all of my garden decorations. So it's almost finished. And it's crepe myrtle time. My red crepe myrtle tree is blooming. But this isn't a garden tour. This is a vertical vegetable garden tour with some garden updates, I guess you could say. See, there's all my doors. They usually go on that side of my yard. So the wall is almost finished, but I can't complain because it was free. Can you believe I have to live with these dogs? One of the reasons why someday I'd like to move out of this house and get my own little homestead. But all the sunflowers are blooming and the bees just love them. And look at how tall my Mexican sunflowers are. Can you believe it? They are way taller this year than last year. And all those came back from the seeds I grew last year. I just can't believe how tall those are. I didn't know Mexican sunflowers got that big. And my passion flower vine, well, I don't see a lot of flowers on that, but that's okay because that is just getting started and that is new too. Oh, but look. And you know I keep this netting up so my chickens don't destroy my garden. And yet my husband is working. But I have to show you these as well. Look at my zinnias. They're all blooming. How pretty, all the different colors. And as you can see, my gladiolas are done blooming, so I cut those back, and when I go shopping at Home Depot, I'll definitely find something to plant there. I can't believe this. This is a vertical vegetable garden tour, and I brought you in my yard and I'm showing you all these things. I just can't get over how big my Mexican sunflowers are. I mean, that is such a blessing. Look at that. Look at that. They're so tall. They're almost as tall as that arbor. I just think that's so beautiful. I have some more Mexican sunflowers right over here in my little zucchini garden. And I have the wire around this so my chickens can't eat the zucchinis. But look at this beautiful zucchini I just harvested yesterday. She's a beaut. Oh my goodness, what is that? A petunia. That must have grown from seed. I did not plant that there. How funny. And it looks like today is the big day that it's finally coming to an end. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you garden happy too, even if your garden is small, noisy, or imperfect, because gardening should be fun. Bye.